And we live. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James. Well, I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. It may happen, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But joining me as always is my co-host, Mrs. Besh. I'll say what's up to her.
Hi, everybody. To everybody who partakes in the devil's lettuce and or people in the legal states, happy 420. And to those who love the Lord, happy Easter. And to those who love both, may you be with the Most High today, as my husband says. So that is all. Like and share.
Yes, happy 420. I do not partake, but that's okay. Different strokes for different folks. So, enjoy your time. Happy Easter. Enjoy your time with your family. I'll be joining mine pretty soon here. So I'm super excited about that. And I hope everyone has just a great Sunday. We came to y'all on our days off and we just trying to, Shani is here. She says she'll be partaking shortly. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy.
Yes, good twin. Yes, good twin. Good
Yeah.
morning.
And please subscribe to Mrs. Best's channel. Her information is in my description box as well as right here. Please subscribe to her channel. Any reviews or recaps I don't cover on my channel, such as Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and Miami. We're going to do also, or we actually have started The Valley. There's a video on her channel now for it. Also, we are going to do Real Housewives of Miami. That's also here as well. So in June. So you guys, we have a lot coming up for y'all. As well as on my channel, I am going to be picking up the Love's Island, Bravo, whatever they have with none of the housewives that I like, which is Giselle, Ashley, Shannon Bador, and Luann, whatever the
Oh, I
fuck.
need to record it. I didn't know
Yeah.
you were picking it up.
I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. I'm going to go against my better judgment because directly, I don't like any of those four.
Gotta make it
Someone
better.
told me it was going to be controversial for me, and I know that it will.
Controversial. Oh, I'm excited. When does it come on?
At the end of April. So the week after
Oh,
my birthday. Yeah.
I got time. I got time.
Yeah, you got time. Trust me.
April 25th. It's almost here.
Please don't remind me. I'm
Why?
not ready. I'm just not because I don't have nothing planned. I'm not ready.
No.
So yeah,
Oh,
I'm not ready for my birthday. I thought I would have an all white party to this birthday, but apparently not. Gotta wait till I'm 40. But anyways, y'all, that ain't what we're here to talk about. We'll talk about us another day. We are here to talk about somebody's son. Y'all, this show is stupid. It is so stupid. Like I can't with this show. But we're gonna go ahead because I need the content and why not talk about it. So let me get my notes out because it just disappeared off my screen. Happy Easter, NYC Mail NYC Reviews. We appreciate you. Subscribe to Mail NYC Reviews. I cannot get my words right today, y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm just waking up. Not literally, but just figuratively. But let me see here. We're gonna start with a visual, if I can find it this time. So we have a new mom and son duo. We have James and Charlize. James is in security engineering, which pays really, really well, I might ask. Good job to have, sir. He just turned 30, which is a great age to enjoy that kind of lifestyle. I aspire, even though I'm older than that, but I aspire. Hi, Shana. Happy Easter. But I appreciate you because we're going to be talking about a lot here. Shani says she ain't cooking nothing. I heard that girl. But yes, but James, he's looking to settle down. He says he's 30 now. He's looking to settle down. He has a good career, good, values. But he decided to invite his mom to help him look for his quest of love. And we have Miss Charlize. Miss Charlize is your very much PK mama. Just very much so, loves the Lord, very, into her religion, wants her son to be with someone that's like minded like that. And this is why the show's concepts do not work. This is why the show concepts do not work because this is a bad idea. I know what this is going to turn into. So his dates of choice, the four legs, we have Bravon. She's an entrepreneur. She invests in Airbnb properties and or invested properties and turns them into Airbnbs. She's also a pageant girl. She started doing that when she was in college. She is, very particular, but her friend says she's the hostess with the mostest. I said, okay, very cute girl. Definitely like her. Mrs. Best, how'd you feel about Bravon?
what was her name again?
Bravon.
I honestly, I didn't care for any of the new women
Me either.
that were added, so my feelings are going to be pretty much the same for a lot of them. I also didn't care for. I liked the guy this time. I
Yes, he
I
was
did not
more.
like his mama.
Yeah, he was more aesthetically pleasing. Like he actually fit the mold of what I believe, is straight and looking for one.
Also
Um,
gave the energy of someone who actually wants to find like a relationship. The
hmm
other guy that we met last week, he seemed like he just looking at how many of them will let him hit.
He didn't even give me that vibe. He gave me, I don't want my mama to know I'm gay, so I'm gonna come on national TV with my aunt of all people and make sure I find me a woman, so that way my mama don't know. Because in the African Nigerian culture, it is not acceptable. They're making some progress, but it's not fully there yet. So, that's what he gave me. But we're gonna move on to the next lady. We have Saw Brene. I wish I had the visuals of these ladies. I couldn't find it anywhere. Saw Brene, property manager. She's an open book. She tells it exactly how it is. I did like her. I thought she was cool. We also have Alicia. Now she was the stunning queen. She looks like the girl from she looked like Julissa Bermudez mixed with that girl that was on Summer House Martha's Vineyard, the wild one. She reminded me of her. She was the marketing coordinator. She says she's picky, like me. I am very picky. So she says if she doesn't like it, she doesn't go for it. Once Alicia walked in, though, the girls were intimidated. They was like, she is just stunningly gorgeous. The mama said, he's gonna be mostly attracted to her. So that's gonna be, not my pick. And I'm just looking at the mama like, okay, lady, okay. And then lastly, we have Chisholm. Chisholm is an IT consultant and also a fitness instructor. And she's looking for someone who's goal oriented. She is Nigerian Igbo and she, is really strong in her core values of her, ethnicity and race, which is great. Out of all the ladies, the mama said nobody stood out to her. Nobody really, she was picking them apart. One had on a body piercing. She said the other one got too many curves. And it was like, this is why this does not work. I want y'all to get this. This is why this show does not work. Do y'all just want to agitate the viewers? Is that what this is? Because that mama didn't give not near nobody no chance. But we'll get to that in a minute. So, as the ladies are all getting to know each other and getting to know James, James goes back to the room to his mom to see what she thinks, and she automatically says, "Alicia, I know that that's your type, but she's very superficial. Like I don't know how that's going to work in the long term." And James wants his mom to give the ladies a chance because he knows that she can be hard, on anyone he dates. And I can imagine he doesn't date much, or if he does date, it doesn't make it to mama's house. Mrs. Best, how do you feel about the mama judging the ladies and everything?
I didn't like this mom. This mom is exactly what's wrong with. I'm sorry. Happy Easter. He is risen. But this mama is what's wrong with church going folk. And I'm not talking about the holiday Christians like myself who show up sometimes on Christmas, Easter, and the other one. She was judgy, but she was also judgy in a way that made me think, like my professional opinion, if I wasn't on YouTube and just at work analyzing, it seems like she wants him to date someone that's like her, like
Mm.
in every way. She wants her son to date her. That's not healthy. You can want your son to be with a good quality of woman or man, because we're inclusive here, but you shouldn't, good quality shouldn't be based upon how she would move herself. You know what I mean? Like we're all individuals. So I didn't like how she judged them whatsoever. You could tell she's just a little stuck up and snooty. Her child
Mhm.
is down to earth, but I didn't like her.
No, you could tell like he doesn't know, and this is another thing. I feel like when it comes to him, like either mama gonna be involved a whole lot or mama gonna be involved none at all. That's what it gave me. It gives me either she's gonna be too inclusive or she's not gonna be in the relationship at all, which is surprising if she's not gonna be in a relationship at all, why would you come on this show? Because she gives me somebody that will come over randomly on a Tuesday to make sure the house is clean, make sure the lady did the laundry. She just gives me too invasive. I don't know why, because she hasn't shown that yet, but she just gives me too invasive.
She's definitely invasive.
Yeah.
Uh, and those are the people like A lot of marriages fail because people put family and parents ahead of their spouse, which you're not supposed to do.
Right.
So it seems like she wants her son to do that, but it seems like he's not willing to do that. But I feel like she'll be more to deal with than Oma. Oma's just here getting her moment. That's her nephew living her best life. I feel like this lady's gonna actually be a headache.
I feel like she's gonna be more than a headache. I feel like she's gonna be the reason why I always side eye church going folks. I do. Because there's something she said, and we'll get to it in a minute. There's something she said that really bothered me. But so the moment comes where he introduces his mom, and just like with the first set of ladies with the other guy, they're all shocked because they didn't. I guess they don't know that this is going to be the concept of the show, or if they do know, they are definitely playing it off well because they seem that they're shocked that the mother's going to be there, and it is awkward. Like there should be some time. I met my mother-in-law maybe in my second month of dating my fiance, so and even then, the only reason why it happens, I think, so soon then because it was his birthday. I don't think under regular circumstances I would have met her so soon. But my mother-in-law is the coolest. She the dopest. She really is. So I got lucky. I really did. But it is awkward for the first meeting to meet the mom too. It just this show doesn't work. But just like with the first show, they do the icebreaker questions, and I feel like she wrote a couple of her own in there because I feel like these questions would not be up in there. The question is, what was your longest relationship like? Chisholm said that she was in a relationship for 3 years, and it was really a dry answer. She just said 3 years, and they were respectable. It seems like that probably was like I don't want to say arranged marriage because I don't know if Nigerians do arranged marriages, but it seemed like the relationship was kind of like, somebody's son, he's single, my daughter's single, we both in the same tribe, so let's try to match make them. I feel like that's what happens. Mrs. Best, do you feel like that's what happens? Because she didn't say anything bad about the relationship, it just seemed to.
I mean, she also could just have had what a lot of us don't recognize, a healthy breakup. Yes, arranged marriages do happen in Nigerian culture, but usually if they're over here in America, that's not really happening. They tend to adopt our culture pretty well. But some people just don't like speak ill of their exes, and it kind of gave me that energy. But I'm like, what is this show? Did they have like a hotline to the Nigerian American community or
Yeah,
something?
I was trying
Because
to figure that out too. I'm like, why are we doing this? Like,
here we
why?
are again.
Yeah, like, not to say I'm not with it. I'm very much with it because I love that culture, but it just seemed like it's always a common thing where we have to make sure that that is known.
Hmm.
Okay, James, I heard that fiance real. Shada. Yes, you heard that fiance. I ain't wearing my ring right now, but yes, you heard fiance very, very loud.
Put that goddamn ring on.
Right, I know. Sorry,
I
baby.
shower in mine. I don't take it off because if I take it off, I'm gonna lose it. So it's better to leave the shit on.
I don't want to. I don't want to shower with mine. I want it. I have three of them actually, but I don't like to wear the gold one.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. Man, generous. But anyways, y'all.
Shayna, where my plate? Don't be
Okay,
coming
for
on
real. Don't be coming up
here
here and talk about some
threatening
food.
us.
This is gonna be the live right now, Shayna. I'm gonna bring you up on this camera, but like Shayna, show us what you're cooking.
I wish
Come
I
on,
lived
Shayna.
closer to Shayna because when she does cook food, it look good
It
when I
do,
see it and
Shayna.
post it.
You might be missing your calling, girl. You might open up a restaurant.
We need to get to her. That's our little East
Okay,
Coast,
shoot. Yes, I wish you
East
did.
Coast bestie.
Anyways, y'all. So yes. Sorry, we getting distracted. I know y'all didn't come here for me and Mrs. Best and talking about Shayna's cooking and how we need to pull up to her house real quick. Y'all, we talking about somebody's son. You see how quickly we got off track with this show? The show's so damn stupid. But question number 2, which I don't think was a question on there. I think that she was really trying to make this shit up. Should there be joint bank accounts or separate bank accounts? They are dating. Why does that matter right now? But anyways, Alicia answer says that there should be, a joint account, and also, there should be a foundation for, providing and everything of that sort. And Alicia makes it no, she wants her man to provide for her, and I don't blame you. I don't blame any woman that will want that. Yeah, have your own, get your own, but still, it is wonderful when you have a provider, someone who brings something to the table. Let me see what else she asked. Oh, she asked about some of the ladies' upbringing, and this is where we learned that Chisholm was Igbo Nigerian, and her roots are, and now in Memphis. And, Sabrinae also mentions, no, was it Sabrinae that mentions that she was really close to her family, or was it, I didn't forgot you. I didn't write that down. I know one of them mentioned, I think it was Sabrinae that she's very close. She doesn't live far from her family or whatever. And then the question comes up about God. And this is where I have a problem because she did something that I did not like. So, Sabrinae's, no, it was Alicia. Alicia says she relates to Miss Charlize because Miss Charlize is a cancer survivor, and we are happy about that. We are happy about any cancer surviving people in this world because I know that that is not easy to be in remission. It's also beautiful because you're trying to continue to fight. So we are championing that all the way. But Alicia said that she could relate because her mother also went through breast cancer. Her mother's also a devoted Christian, and she explains that it was hard for her because if someone loves the Lord, someone is a follower of God and a servant of God, why would you bring on this illness and make it challenging for them? And I struggled with that as well. I could relate to Alicia because you guys know I lost my father. It would be a year, June 3rd. He died of cancer, and I had a troubled time in that time as well with trusting God as well because I was angry. And sometimes we do get angry, and I was glad that she was vulnerable in that moment. And I think that that went over Miss Charlize's head to be able to relate because she was so stuck on her father because Alicia said her father was spiritual. He believes that there is a higher power, that there's a God, but he doesn't believe in going through the biblical sense. And as soon as she said that, Miss Charlize turned up her nose and I said, here we go. Here we go. This is what makes me not like this lady. Mrs. Best, did you feel like she was sizing this lady up with this religious thing, or what do you think she was doing? Because it was crazy.
Again, this is why people are turned away from the church. You should turn to God. You should turn to your beliefs. You are not supposed to turn to the church. The church is supposed to be a space of community to meet people similar and who have share the same things. I didn't like how she did that, but I'm not surprised. She one of them old judgy Christians that think she's better because she's probably been saved every other Sunday at the church service and probably speaks in tongues real well too, just like Phaedra on Married to Medicine. So I don't like this lady. It's really interesting to me also, just in general, with people who are extremely into religion, because specifically with Christianity, if you read your Bible, bitch, then you would know that you're not supposed to judge. Yet here you are judging. Judging. And clearly Jesus couldn't help your son find a wife on his own. He had to come on this fucking show. So I'm looking at her and I'm like, how can you judge someone for choosing to be spiritual? Like, you don't have to go to church to be spiritual. You don't have to go to church to believe in God. You just don't. It doesn't make you a bad person if you do. It doesn't make you a bad person if you don't. But I didn't like that. I do feel like he is the type that will check his mama, though, if need be, like respectfully. But I didn't like it. It's like, lady, she's telling you something
That was
precious. And
exactly, that was extremely difficult, and not only difficult, but it was extremely like personal, like to share somebody you don't know. Mind you, they don't know each other. They are just getting to know each other. They are just getting to a point where she's sharing something extremely vulnerable. And here you is worried about somebody's religious studies when all tunnels should lead to God directly, no matter how you do it, as long as you do it. And I was so turned off by this. I was like, okay, I'm done with this lady. I don't really care about this now, wherever this goes. I hope he does find love, if that's ultimately what he wants. But that mama right there, ladies, I'm telling y'all, she gonna be a problem. She gonna be a problem. I just hope she busy in her own marriage. I think you mothers need to understand once you raise your kids, you need to be busy in your own marriage. Just saying. Unless your husband don't want you no more after you raise the kids, which, that's a different conversation for a different day. But after all of the question and everything, they go back to the room and they begin talking about, how she feels and everything. And pretty much over there, she goes, some of the questions, some of the ladies pull through just fine. One thing I notice about Bravon is that she does over talk, and she has a lot to say and everything. Because Bravon was long winded, but she's nervous. Anybody would be nervous in this situation. So I mean, I think she was just too hard. And she brings up Alicia and this whole religious thing and everything. And she said, I'm starting to see a little bit of a silver lining with her. And I'm looking at her like, oh God, here we go. I just can't with this lady, y'all. So we move on back to Josh and Oma. This is the second day for them, and he's over there Instagramming the house and everything, and that's what makes me feel like you really ain't taking this serious at all. I'm sorry, I don't believe he's straight. I just don't. I know what I'm looking at, and he may not know it yet. And I don't want him to look at this video and be like, "Oh, you're trying to out me." No, I'm not trying to out you. I'm just calling a spade a spade. I just don't believe it. And he may not know. He's young. Like I didn't know until my late 20s. Like sometimes you just don't know. You really don't. And you don't want to put what people put on you just because they can see it or whatever. You just don't want to put that on you because you may not feel it. I did not feel it, and mine really was a choice because I still not sexually repressed from women. But it's just one of those situations where I just don't see. I just don't see it. I don't see it. But we'll let him come out in his own time. But moving on from there, their second activity is a photo shoot. So basically, once they read it, Oma's determination is to see which lady would be more compatible with him physically. Like, how will they come into it physically with the photo shoot, invading each other's personal spaces, how the touchy feely would go. And based on whoever she feels is the most compatible with Joshua, she's going to choose the date. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about this exercise before we get into
I don't like anything about this show.
it?
Exercises included. Again, your parents should never have a choice in who you date. Your parents should never influence who you date. That's where how they raise you is supposed to shine through. So I didn't like it, but I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm
Hmm.
good.
So the first one to go up next as the photographer gets there because they're doing the photo shoot in the house. They have to keep the budget moving along, so they got real creative and let the house be the location of where they're doing the photo shoot. So Lexi gets hers first, and hers is in the kitchen. So he's nervous. He don't know what to do, which is why I don't think. Well, this is why I have the thoughts that I have. His body movement towards the ladies was weird, but she gets through it, and their chemistry is actually really sound. Surprisingly, it was very sound. They're very compatible, and that's something that Oma noticed as well. Is that they were very compatible. She was not afraid to touch him. He was a little bit apprehensive about touching her, but he eventually came out of it. And the ladies were kind of like, "Oh, she won. Look at her," especially Chambrielle. She was like very intimidated by this whole photo shoot. So once it's done, Chambrielle is next. Now Chambrielle has her photo shoot on the stairs, and she doesn't know what to do. She's awkward at first, but then once she got past her awkwardness, then they started to get touchy, and then she was actually the first one to get the kiss. So mind y'all, she was worried about Lexi in the beginning, with all her natural chemistry she had towards Joshua, that she was the first one to land a kiss. And to me, it felt like I don't want to say it was a move out of desperation, but it was a move to make sure that he had her attention just as much as Lexi. So I kind of felt like it was a strategic move. I don't know if I would have went that far, but different strokes. Mrs. Best, how do you feel Chambrielle did on her photo shoot?
I mean, she did fine. I don't like the activity.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they could have done an activity where they like actually got to know each other a little
Yeah.
further. Because they should be able to get to know each other outside of like the dates that they went and stuff. But it wasn't. I mean, if you're gonna be with them and you want to be with them, may as well get it out the way, see what works, break those barriers, which they did.
I I feel like this was easy and not really much thought went into this. That's how I feel. The last one to go was Tamara's. Her photo shoot is at the pool table. And she had a very cute dress on. I will say her dress was real cute. Um, and basically, she aligned him showing her how to, play the pool. They had the stick in the hand, and she was being seductive, and she was kind of, giving it. But when it came to him wanting a kiss, she rejected him. And it's because she didn't want to kiss him after, what's that baby's name? Damn, I forgot her name already. Shit. Um, oh damn. Chambrielle. Sorry, y'all. I was like, I forgot her name already. But after she didn't want to kiss him after Chambrielle, which I don't blame her. I wouldn't have did it. He wouldn't have got a kiss that early anyway. But I'm just saying, for me, I would understand it because Mrs. Best, can you kiss a man after he didn't kiss another woman?
Um, no, no. Don't touch me if your lips and hands have been on other people. I'm not really a share a dude type of gal, though. Never have been. When I do talk to people, I'm in a relationship, and other than that, when I was single, single. So I don't like that. But at the same time, they may not have known the concept of the show, but you signed up for a reality television dating show. So you had to expect him to kiss other people. So if it was a normal circumstance, I'd agree with the girl. But it's like in this type of circumstance, it's like, girl, this is literally what you're asked for. You signed up for it. So, but I hear her like regularly, if that makes sense.
I hear it too. Yeah, in a regular, even in this circumstance, I don't feel like I still would have did it. But but that was pretty much the end of the photo shoot. We are coming back to them. We're going back to James and Charlize. So it's the elimination. It's up for the mom to eliminate. And they're going over, the ladies and how she feels. She feels that Chisholm is a little reserved, like she's not breaking out of her shell too much. She said Brevon always got something to say. She overtalks, and sometimes that could be good, sometimes it could be long-winded. She feels like him and Sabrina are not compatible. And I actually agree with her assessment there. I don't think they're compatible at all. And she's also saying that Alicia, she knows that that's James's type. She feels like it's only a physical and sexual attraction. She doesn't feel like there's anything beyond that. Now, this is where she got on my nerves again. Ma'am, y'all only known each other for a few hours. So you would hope, because he's a man at the end of the day, that at this moment, with it only being a few hours and some minutes, that he would be physically attracted to her, because that means that it's not going to stop. It's always going to be there. So, and he even was like, well, mama, don't make no decision based on just sort of that. Like, don't make the wrong decision just because you just don't feel like there's something more. That is a good thing. And I'm just like, there's something deeper going on here. Because the fact that you sized this lady up from the beginning and was like, oh, she's pretty, and oh, he's not going to see beyond that. And it's like, he shouldn't for right now. It ain't been that long. Mrs. West, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like the physical attraction is like just something that they shouldn't be solely focused on? Or do you think that at this point right now it's appropriate?
Um, I'm kind of torn. I feel like a lot of people end up alone or in relationships that won't last because they're too focused on the physical attraction. Physical attraction is important, and it's what leads us usually to being interested in dating people that we don't know or haven't interacted with. And physical attraction makes it easier to succeed in your relationship. However, personality, how people handle conflicts matters more. I hear this from people in relationships. I hear this from people single. But the people I hear who constantly in relationships that don't end up working out are often too focused on the physical attraction. That's actually a pet peeve of mine. Um, I think people are too focused on certain things. For instance, if I was focused on height, I used to have this rule of dating men that were taller than me. It wasn't working out. When I finally said, let me look into someone who's attractive and X out certain things that I was too picky on, like height, met love of my life. So that's me. Some people is different, but I do think that even psychology backs that up. Physical attraction does matter. It is something that usually needs to exist and is the driving force that causes people to get together. However, it's also the very thing that causes a lot of people to be alone or not have success in relationships long term. And no one wants to accept it, you know, that's fine. But I there has to be more to it. Physical attraction also does not mean you have chemistry. Physical attraction does not mean you'll be able to hold a conversation. Physical attraction doesn't even mean that it's something that's lasting. And that's why I don't think people should go off of just that. Because you could be attracted to somebody now, and then you get with them, and the way that they act towards you could make you less attracted to them, physically and emotionally. So I don't know. I'm like torn. It's important where they're at right now. Physical attraction should matter. It should. But once they like know each other and stuff, it should be a little more. But these people just met. Give it time. Hell.
For me, I agree with you. I do. And I'm trying to apply that in my own situation as you just did yours. So there's a few things going on with my situation is that, yes, I was attracted to, or I am attracted to my fiance, but the problem is that y'all know I have specifics that I need, right? And when I first met my fiance, I didn't see them. So I was like, okay, but he was still cute to me. So I was like, okay. And we started talking, and the conversation just was so great. Like we just talked about a lot. And it was just, I just knew immediately when I met, I was like, oh my gosh. But the things that I thought he lacked, he actually does have it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm attracted to you 10 times more. So I do feel like there needs to be a great balance, but maybe not notice it right away. And I think that that's kind of where I was. I didn't notice the things that I was physically attracted to him until our second date.
Oh.
So it's real interesting how that plays on you. And maybe that is God, maybe that is human nature, but I'm glad it worked out the way that it did because I now have both the intellectual and the physical. So I have both.
Hey, as long as it worked out, that's what
So
matters.
did it because I was nervous at first, but then when I was like, oh my God, okay, never mind. Look at God. Won't he do it every time? But I don't want, as he said, because he made a very valid point. I don't want you to be solely focused on the physical attraction, because mind you, they don't know each other. They're getting to know each other in a very uncommon circumstance.
Yep.
So I don't want her, and I was nervous because I felt like, she was going to send that lady home. I just knew it. And I was just like, see, and this is why this does not work. This is why this show's concept does not work. But in the end, she ended up sending home Chisholm, which I wasn't taken away by that because she was reserved and didn't come out of her shell. She was like just stuck in her ways, and maybe because she was nervous. It's TV. Not everyone's going to react to TV well. But I just feel like I'm glad she did not send Alicia home because to me, I felt like it would have been pointless from that point forward because it would have been hard for him to understand that loss because it seemed like he doesn't process that. He wouldn't have processed that well. But also, in the same token, it would have been harder for him to get to know the other ladies based on he seems to go for physical attraction first, like me. I'm not gonna lie, I do, and then move
That's
towards
common though. Most people go off of physical attraction first because that's all you have to see. That's all you have to see until you know people. So let him be. His
yeah,
mama's
but
too much.
his mom's too much. I'm not. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to deal with her the rest of the season. So that was pretty much the episode, y'all. We're keeping it short and sweet. I'm not going to go into every detail here because I feel like some of this stuff is stupid. I'm just going over the important things and then the problematic areas of some of these mamas towards their sons. So far, I don't have the clingy, like emotional husband type of energy yet from these mamas. So far, they're very much on par of what I think. Well, one, we only got one actual mama. The other one is not the mama. So and I still need more context on that. I do. And what's funny is I was talking to one of my cousins about it, who has a gay son, and she was telling me that she probably wouldn't have come on the show either if her son was doing this. So it would have been best to go get her sister to come on the show because because she told me my son can't play in my face. I know my son. She goes, I know what my son likes. And if my son were to come up there because he's scared to live in his truth, I would tell him on national TV so he knows not to bring me. And I said, I wonder. But then I'm like, no, because they're Nigerian as well. So I was like, no, that probably is not it. But that does make sense though in like a intellectual part because you don't want your son to play, and you're not gonna allow him to play in other women's faces either if you're a strong woman. So I don't know, maybe, but it is weird. But I'm looking forward to the last mother and son duo because maybe she'll give me what I'm looking for me to say, you know what, this is why the show doesn't work. Oh, it was a nice try. But I'm gonna look at the ratings on this show to see where they are because I can't imagine it's high. So, but that was pretty much it. That was the episode, y'all. We didn't get to see Josh and Oma's second elimination, so they're probably saving that for the third episode. How they're editing the show is weird, so I'm gonna try to keep up with it as best I can. Let me know how y'all like the show. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how y'all feel about the moms, the sons, the ladies. Let me know how you guys feel. I'm trying to keep this interesting, but y'all, this thing, I might not review season 2 if they get a season 2. Is there anything else you want to add, Mrs. Best?
No, I think you did the best you could with what you had.
Very good. All right, so y'all, we're gonna end this live. We're gonna go over to Love and Marriage Detroit. That was a hot mess, so I can't wait for y'all to see it. I have a lot of strong opinions as I always do, but make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this video. I am getting a lot of viewers for this show, surprisingly. So I'm definitely going to keep it through the rest of the season, but let's hope these mamas don't get on my nerves. But thank you so much for being here. I will see you guys on the next recap. Bye-bye now.